back to this podcast. And well, today we're going to talk about the Marxist Winter School 2022, and also we're gonna keep the topic going. And well, today I also went to the church, and I got some ideas mixed that I think that will be really interesting. So the Marxist Winter School started at 10 p.m. I mean 10 a.m. And well, I took some notes about the speech, the conversations. So well, the first important thing, the first important point was that every benefit the workers had nowadays, they weren't given by for free. They needed to fight. Like right now, we have medical care, vacations. I mean, pension. I don't know about that. Like my generation won't have a pension back there in Mexico. Um, so yeah, it was like a fight. It wasn't given for free. The other, well, then the professor started keep going the conversation, and he started talking about the historic materialism. I'm not sure if that's the translation, but yeah. So he says that materialist means being focusing on the objective world. So that also explains a lot of the materialist's thinking. And then he says that matter is always in constant change. I just want to show you this really quick. um, yeah, so it is in constant change, and he says that also society is in constant change. And he give this example, like for it doesn't taste that good. It's freezing. It's 2 a.m. I just finished my homework. I was making assignments until today, but I'm not gonna lie. I was really excited just to get to this point of the day or the night or the morning. I'm not sure. Yeah. So it is 2 a.m. But I enjoy doing this, and I like this personal project. And also, if you're hearing this, thank you so much. Well, um, then we were talking about materialism. So he says that matter is in constant change, and so does the society. And then he gave this example evolution. We know evolution is a thing. I used to date someone that she didn't think evolution was a thing. I mean, I respect every kind of belief. I mean, that's how I get to understand world, but I cannot make other people understand the world the same way as I do. But okay, so getting this a fact, like a fact, not like a really fact, but the more commented fact, the more acceptable theory. The theory of evolution said that we are in constant change, right? So, we need to wait. We cannot be conscient about the changes we are having as a species right now, because the changes take so many years in order to be reflected. And it also happens with these small changes in society. Let me see. He also said that it's not consciousness that determines life. That's like a quote. He starts saying some quotes from uh, this. Das Capital. I forget how to say it in English and Spanish, but yeah. So he starts saying these quotes, and then he starts saying like, this is not a new speech. I have heard this speech before, and to be honest, I have heard this speech like so many times. It doesn't have the same impact when I hear it other times. Um, and here we get to the interesting point, right? So I think there are some similitudes with with what people believe. For example, let's get let's get this is a difficult topic because I want to go like what is fate? Like fate. Once you have fate, you cannot have faith. Like for example, an atheist, it doesn't work that well because you always need to believe on something. And even if you do not believe in something, you are believing in something. If you I mean, I think you should, I mean, in order to don't have any faith, the only way to make that is to be dead. I'm making this in one shot. I mean, um, I will just review some notes other day, because if not, I'm not gonna keep talking, and let's let's keep with the flow. So yeah, faith is an important thing, and there are so many religions. Um, when I was little, when I was younger, I mean, I don't know if it was because of these Facebook groups. So I'm a generation that was raised and educated most by memes or memes, and well, yeah, they have these ideas, or at least the pages I follow, of 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 atheism. But well, uh, it makes sense. Like for me, when I was younger, like I was, bro, like we have, if we check the history, there have been like other goats like Zeus or Quetzalcoatl. I don't know, like there have been so many other gods. It is difficult to believe that the god they have teach me is like the real god, and like there are not. It is difficult to have proof. We will keep going. I mean, this is my, this is the thing, the thoughts I used to have before. So I have been changing with the years, and I think we will get like a really good topic today, because there are so many things related. Like everything is related. It is freezing in here. I need to get closer, or I don't know. I'm not used to this type of weather. Hmm. So yeah, and let's get to this fate journey. Um, I was thinking like we have seen so many gods falling through the history. What says that this religion is gonna work, and why there is more than one religion? And well, like that's what I have been thinking for so many years, but I'm not gonna like I have been trying to get into religion and stuff, but I definitely can't do that. I think if I would define myself, it would be like spiritual. I mean, I found that option like on Bumble, and I think that's a really good way to describe how I feel. But yeah, so um, what other say? Just to let you, person on the other side of the screen, know me a little bit better. On 2019, I work on this Christian camp, and I think it kind of gets along with this Marxist thing I went today. So I was I didn't enjoy that much my work experience there, because I was a dishwasher. I was a kitchen staff. When they said kitchen staff, I was thinking, oh yeah, cool, I'm gonna cook or something. Bro, I was washing trays all day. There were like 3,000 kids eating 3 times a day, like plus stuff. It was a hill, like inside like the terms of Christianism, it was a hill. But yeah, so it was my fault because I was on the bottom part of the pyramid of the system of the chain. I don't know, and I was paid just like really few. I mean, I, I, I was I was earning the same as the minimum salary, minimum wage on Mexico. So that's like $5 per hour. And yeah, it was a Hell's Kitchen. Is that a joke? Can I make? Okay. And okay. So I didn't like that job, and I have always been thinking like this community revolutionary. Man, I didn't like that job. They didn't like me too because maybe I was just complaining about it, but it was my fault. It was my fault. I signed that contract. But yeah, if you go like in these programs, like for work and travel and stuff, don't go to kitchen. Do anything besides kitchen. I mean, look for other things. I'm not gonna get back to kitchen in my life. And also like there were like a lot of things, but just to keep this, I enjoy that summer. It was a great experience. I will not repeat the kitchen, but I will repeat the going to work to that camp, but not on kitchen. And it is a good camp. But I was saying about the fate, right? So in that camp, I didn't found my fate on Christianism, um, but I tried. And also like, so also this is a really important thing. Let's get to the roots of the belief or of the countries, right? I mean, I just can talk about what I know, but yeah. So Mexico, before Mexico exists, it was kind of different. It wasn't like a country before, so there were like different communities coexisting, but there wasn't this idea unified of the territory, at least for the territory, right? So um, the Spanish, they came, they conquered Mexico, and they established the language, and they established the religion. Well, besides other things like I don't know, but yeah. So Mexico has this root religion, this root faith of Catholicism, and well, I can say, as I understand, United States has this root faith of Christianism. I mean, as I understand, we always say this. We say it in español, judeo-cristianos, but I think in English the traduction would say Jewish Christian. Jewish Christian. We use that term to get like to the roots, to some when we try to get to the roots of the religion, or we try to say something. So as I get it, it's like Judaism, Christianism, and Catholicism, and I mean after Christianism they split. I mean I need to check the history. For sure, my friend Diego will know more about this. But yeah, so mm, 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 Mexico has these Catholic values, and there are some things that I have been raised, and maybe as Mark Zuckerberg was saying. So I was watching this interview. Well, it was like a debate between Mark Zuckerberg and Yuval Noah Harris, the guy who wrote *Sapiens*. and well, it was like quite really interesting. um, there were like so many ideas. Let me start talking a little bit about this. So Mark Zuckerberg started in the comment sections. The comment sections are always gold. The comment sections were saying like he was just complaining about not having that he so he said that he used to play baseball, but because he didn't have like other way of community, and we are social beings, we need to make community. And after he went to university, he find another people that like programming, and that was like the main idea, or the what he really likes. And he says that Facebook helps people to get into communities and stuff. And I mean, maybe. I remember seeing some people before when I was younger, telling telling the audience that they have some relationships that happen because of Facebook, and in other situations, or if Facebook didn't exist, it would not have been possible. And today, got today, I mean, Tinder, Bumble. Do you imagine like reality without this? How many people have you met like from Tinder or from Bumble? It will be like really different. Like they shape these apps. They shape our life for sure. And yeah, so the guy that writes Sapiens, he was saying like, well, are you sure you're trying to make more community, to make a bigger community, or you are just trying to keep people staring at the screens? Because you know, there's this thing that capitalism is not immoral, it's um, amoral, so it doesn't have any moral in their ideas, right? So the only thing the enterprises focuses is on revenue, on profit, on being profitable. We're having this class called Global Business Management, and maybe if you're hearing this, and I don't know, hopefully someone have the same course or something. And so in this global business, there are like, it is like a video game, not like a video game. That's the best word I have right now. Simulation. That's it. A simulation where you run this enterprise. And I was getting into the blog, and it's really realistic because they say never go green, never do give um, like advantage to the workers, or like keep they keep it real, bro. They keep it real. And yeah, so I don't know why I get to this Marxist Winter School. Tomorrow they are gonna have another session, and also on Monday they are gonna have another session. And well, I mean, I like learning. I was feeling revolutionary, but something I realized, I get into this Facebook group they make for the conference, and they, bro, like I know it's not anyone's fault, um, but I see too much capital accumulated just by seeing the pictures. Like they were like, yeah, we are hanging here watching the Congress and stuff, and we are but they are rich. They are really rich. I mean, as my understanding of how, like, I was speaking with my friend Mario, and we were saying like, we cannot compare like the suffering. We cannot get to my to minimize the problems, or the harms, because you can you cannot do that. You cannot say, oh, stop suffering, because there's people that suffers more. Everyone's suffering is important and relevant, and you know. Hmm. But we were talking about this guy that was suffering because he said he was poor, and well, he was poor, but he have an iPhone, he have AirPods, he have um, a watch, I watch, yeah. And well, that's in my conceptualization of poor. That's not poor. Like poor is where I come from. The standard of poor, the standard of the class, the median class, it's quite different. But that's just because if you get an average, right? That's why I also think mathematics are getting like a little bit more important in my life than before. Sorry. Yeah. So what will I say? Oh, I want to talk about the fake prophets, false prophets. Um, so it is difficult. There is this documentary on YouTube or maybe Netflix. It is Vox. It is from Vox. That's a channel that then start working with Netflix, and they have this about the prophets. And well, I love this formula. What's happening to me? I'm an artist guy. I'm not a math guy. But yeah, there is this formula that says cult plus time equal same as religion. So that's really true for me. Like that's how every religion, as I see it, was built. And well, they say that everyone is getting this prophet, small prophet conceptualization with social media. So we have some prophets, and I'm not gonna like. I'm not gonna lie. Like I have seen, like for example, have you seen the social media of Jared Leto? He is thinking he has some religion, he has a cult, and every famous person, every influencer, they have a cult. Kanye West, I don't know, name every artist you can name, and there they have the dogma or the idea, write it or place it or record it somewhere. There is when I can start talking again about Christianism and the Bible. I mean, this is our these are just ideas. I mean, if you can give a feedback on the comments, that would be really great because I also enjoy that interaction. And well, they place these ideas on, they record these ideas, right? Um, Christianism has the Bible. Islamism has the Quran. I don't know about other religions, but for sure they have books or something. I can say also like I can get this similitude. Marxist Marx has his own cult, his own religion called I don't know, communism. But yeah, like Marx for sure is another prophet. Nietzsche is another prophet. The Zarathustra, the way Zarathustra has spoken, um, así habló Zarathustra. I don't know how to say it in German, but yeah. So that book, the main idea, like the phrase, God is dead. Um, it takes you well, like I have been understanding, like from people, from teachers, from analysis I have heard, he was trying to implement like new morals because he know that well the old ones were already obsolete because we were entering to another part of the human evolution, matter, materialism, what we were talking about, like the small changes. Matter is always in constant change. So sorry, I get lost so many times, and I don't like editing. That is why I just take one shot. Mm. But yeah, so I was hearing this podcast, and he was a comic writer, and he does these cosmic magical comics, and he he said in some point of this podcast that he was trying to make a new religion, but he didn't accomplish that goal because, well, the books didn't have that much range of audience. What else? What else? What else? What else? So I'm applying to work to another religious camp, and I'm kind of excited because I think it's a good opportunity, and well, I think I can also add this here. On 2020, I was hired by Disney to a part of the international staff. Um, I was supposed to be a lifeguard, but then COVID happens and the program hasn't opened again. And well, I kind of upset because I know that having Disney in the curriculum will make my life easier because it has been so difficult to get good jobs. I'm thinking when they open again, if someone from Disney is hearing this, I mean, what's the probability? The probability is really low, but please open that program again. Ah, I mean, I'm gonna apply even like after I finish my studies, but yeah, it will be easier. Kind of frustrated with that. Um, but yeah, every time, I mean, I don't mention it a lot, but every time I mention it, like I don't mention it when I apply to jobs, but when I mention it, it changes. Like it changes. Like most, like the better offer job offers I got are after they know I got that contract. So please make something. I was sleepy before. I'm not sleepy anymore. Thank you for hearing this if you're hearing this, and I'm trying to make like one video every day. One in Spanish, one in English. I need to practice the language. And well, I also like the idea of sharing my mind setting, my thoughts. I think that for today, maybe it will be good to stop it here. I'm also supposed to sleep. I'm just gonna take one last point, and after that, I'm gonna leave. There's this idea, there's this an thesis written by some guys that have this analysis. The guys from Politic, they talk about economics and politics. They have a channel in English, but I think the representatives for the Spanish channels are other ones. And the thesis was about Marxism and how they apply it to marketing. And they say there's this important thing where you need to divide. We get to this point, and I was also saying this in the podcast Sonido de Fondo. That podcast is in Spanish, but hopefully someday we will make something in English. That will be really interesting. If you are interested in getting into some podcast, in that podcast, just write, and we will make a podcast with you for sure if you are interested. Anyone, just to have something in English and just to get to another audience. But yeah, I was saying this. We need to understand how getting to the basics. It is always us and them, but who are the people that make us, like the idea of us. It is when I get it to translation, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but yeah. So who us, we can be the whole humankind. Us, if we divide it a little bit more, if we divide it by sex, it can be men and women. If we divide it again, we can maybe get into countries. If we divide it again, maybe we can get to cities. If we divide it again, we can maybe get to universities. If we divide it again, we can get uh, to the sport teams. We divide it again, we will, I don't know, you can divide that until your individual self. And yeah, like the idea of some really good tool about politics is that us and them. When we say us, you integrate this idea, you make people identify. So, oh man, I think I'm gonna take another at least 15 minutes with this. But yeah, so there are these signs, these symbols. Oh, um, if you make, if if you accomplish to have these symbols, the correct. I'm gonna quote one of my best friends. If I have the correct symbols, everything is like in the approach of my hands, something like that. If you can make symbols, if you can make, I mean, the main word will be symbols that people can relate to. Um, you are on the other side. Like if they can identify with that, bro, like you will have their support because they will understand that as us, right? Like you can say it like, for example, a nation, for example, I don't know, like libertarian, left and right sides of the politics. So yeah, if you can do that, you will for sure make more people identify and then keep with your movement. It doesn't matter what side. It just you just need to have the right symbols to make people identify with what you want. And maybe after that, like you there are some things. So there is this important about things, and getting into to apply it things. For example, Marx, he says that we should understand ourselves, like for example us. I'm not sure if you are burgues. I don't know how to say it in English, but if you control the main of productions, the production mains, um, well, then that's you and us, or them and us, like you, them, and we, us, the worker class, right? So yeah, he said we should understand ourselves as workers. And yeah, that's the idea, like stop identifying us or having different from nations. It doesn't matter anything besides we should understand ourselves as workers. That's the main idea, and I think that's really smart. I don't know who said this. If you know who said this, please write it in the comments. Divide and conquer. I mean, maybe it should be applied to another things, but that would be it. Like, if you can divide, I mean, it works for other things, but it also works for this, right? Divide and conquer, it's like what we have been talking, but also divide and conquer can also mean like delegate some tasks, and that's cool. That's cool. I mean, and there are different ways. Okay, I mean, that's how ideas come over. Yeah. So I think that having these ambiguous, not being that clear with the ideas, and making making it hard to understand, and then leave them to have different interpretations, that those are the pieces of art, of pieces of literature that can change the world. Because yeah, if there are so many ways to interpret something, um, then it can be constant. It will be the professor said today in the Marxist Congress was saying that how someone that died more than 100 years ago was so relevant now in our days. Well, that's why, because he write this abstract. He's not that clear. He says things that are gonna keep that illustrates a lot of how we are as a humankind, and it will be like difficult, or it will take like so many years for us to change it. So there are like some truths that keep constant due to the years. It doesn't matter how much time it happens, but it can keep constant. So I was talking the other time with my friend Ilkar Val. He studies physics on, like, I would say the best university in Mexico, that is UNAM. And well, he's kind of genius. Bro, you're a genius. If you're hearing this, for sure you're a genius. He was studying in Canada also. He was in Nova Scotia and Halifax. Halifax, I think that's the school. And well, I was saying to Ilkar, well, you know this mass correlation, that the mass it alters distortion, the space, mass, space. So when you have mass, it time space it changes, but it also is illustrated sometimes with these balls. This experiment where you put a ball and it 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 keeps going, like in a blanket, for example, and then it stops in the middle, and that's like the idea to illustrate this mass space thing, time also. And I was telling to Ilkar, bro, do you think that ideas can have something to do? Do you think they should be? Do you think they are? They have the same rules? Like, for example, if an idea is good, it kind of works like the same. And he was telling me that, I mean, he didn't even consider the idea, because he he said, bro, the ideas are not physical. You cannot measure that. But I mean, I will say that's also a thing. Like, for me, a way to understand it. I mean, who I am to say, but that's how I'm experiencing this life. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. It is cold now. It didn't last it, like we have been talking 30 minutes, 38 minutes. That's a lot. But yeah, so I like this part of the day. I like this journal. And yeah, what else? What else? What else? I mean, I don't want to go to sleep now, so we can keep talking a little bit more, and then I will go to sleep. The speaking today was also in French, like the Marxist school was also in French. I found that really cool. That's really cool. Like, from Canada, like they have these two official languages. And have you realized that in America we do not speak any native language? They all come from Europe. Uh, I was saying this on the last podcast, but in the Spanish podcast, so I need to say it again in this podcast in English. So, in Canada, Alaska is part of. I think Alaska is not part of America. Sorry for my geography. That's my worst subject. But yeah, in Alaska they speak English, right? In 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 Canada, it's English and French. In United States, when you enter to the page of the government, it says it doesn't have an established language, but for sure it is English, like the main idea United States. Then if you go down to Mexico, they speak Spanish. We speak Spanish. Um, if you keep going down to Latin America, most of Latin America they speak Spanish. I think Brazil will be the exception when they speak Portuguese, but there are not any official languages that are native, and for sure there are languages that that exist, but they are like in small communities. And well, I think that's not how it should work. I was talking to um, sorry, to a roomie that she's from Filipinas, and she told me that the geographical area was also conquered, but Spain and England, and they have this Spain England time. Like he told me that her grandfathers were fluent in English and Spanish, but the idea they are implementing now is that they are having a Philippine language, and that's really cool. I mean, we didn't even think about it. Yeah, I will share like some things I have learned from Nahuatl, that it is a language, a native language they used to speak in Mexico. And there's also like Otomi, and I have been learning some phrases, but why I have more fresh is in Nahuatl. They in primary school, I the teacher asked us to memorize this poem, and I have been it has been stuck in my head since then. It also appears like in the 50 no in the 100 pesos bill. Yeah, dollar. It's not dollar, but on the 100 pesos, we would say dollar. It goes Niquituan in el Salhualcoyotul Quixocnel in Emowa, no Texcali, no Tepochcali, something like that. He says, yo en Salhualcoyotul me pregunto, me in Salhualcoyotul I ask myself, I'm gonna. So I was trying to show off my skills, but right now I do not remember what he was saying in that poem. Yo Nezahualcóyotl. Let me see. Let me see. Nicutua Ninezahualcóyotl Quixocneri Nemowa in Tlalticpac and Nonichipa Tlalticpac Sanachica Yanican. Telca Calchihuitl no Shamani no Teocuitlal in Tlapani no Quetzali Posteki and Nochipa Tlalticpac Sanachica Yenican. In Spanish, I will say it in Spanish and then I will translate it in English. Yo en Nezahualcóyotl lo pregunto, ¿acaso de veras se vive con raíz en la tierra? Nada es para siempre en la tierra, solo un poco aquí. Aunque sea de jade se quiebra, aunque sea de oro se rompe, aunque sea plumaje de quetzal se desgarra. No para siempre en la tierra, solo un poco aquí. Wow. I didn't remember, like right now it's kind of deep. Me in Nezahualcóyotl, I ask myself, do we really live in earth? Do we really live with this root to earth? Nothing is forever in this world. Just so it's not quite structured, but says just few here. Just few time here. I will add that. Then it doesn't matter. It's from jade. It breaks. I think jade. I'm not sure about that, but like ceramics or something like that, or pretty stone. I'm not a translator. I'm not a cool translator. Okay. It doesn't matter. Then he continues. Even if it is from gold, it breaks. Even if it is quetzal feather, it breaks. No forever in this earth, just a few here. So it's like just the moment he is living, like he realized that. I will say it's another poem about Nezahualcóyotl. He has really good poems, and he is considered also a philosopher. And if we have been talking about fake prophets, he for sure was a prophet back there. I mean, let's see. He says something about there's this poem about like 1100 verse. Let me see. I If I don't find it, I'm gonna get really upset. Canto del Sensontle. Sensontle. Okay, it's I love. Okay, it is now taking form. I'm gonna say it in Spanish. I was trying to look it like on Nahuatl, I guess, but I didn't find it. So I'm just gonna say it in Spanish and then translate it in English because this like the target, the niche market in this podcast, they speak English, and I hope like you really like enjoy this. So I love the sing of the Sensontle. Sensontle is a bird. I will show you a picture just so you get this idea. So this is the Sensontle. Oh, let me see. Yeah, that's it. Right. So let's hear this poem. Amo el canto del sensontle, pájaro de 400 voces. Amo el color del jade y el enervante perfume de las flores, pero más amo a mi hermano el hombre. Let's see. I love the sing of the sensontle, a bird of 400 voices. I love the color of jade and the penetrating cologne perfume of flowers, but I mostly love my brother, the human. It says the man, but I think I want to think he was referring to humankind. Yeah, and I was saying this on the last podcast in Spanish, but I also want to say it here. So I have been reading this book called Underground Philosophies, and it is good. It also has some fragment poems, some fragment of poems, and oh, sorry, it just hurts a lot to be sitting. But I'm in my room, and I have this confidence to just change the position, to stretch your back, relax your shoulders. Yeah, that's how it goes. I don't know what I was saying. I totally forgot what I was saying. Cannot be possible. How I'm gonna be famous? How I'm gonna be a fake or fails prophet if I cannot, if I don't want to edit my videos. I just keep here. But yeah, so I was talking about the book, And I think that one important aspect of a poem is to read it on the original language, because there are some things or ideas, there are sometimes there are not translations for some things. There are ideas that are put in literally. Let me get to the definition of literally as I get it. Literally, it's when you cannot define more exactly. Also, there's a limit of words. You get to the limit of of the word when you can describe something. For example, right? The best word to describe what I'm holding is a pen. But I mean, if I start breaking up the pen, I will say, I don't know how to call this, but I know that the thing inside is ink, and that's like the most literally thing. I would say that's the most literal thing. Um, that's how much I can put it in words right now. And I don't know, have more words to that. So that's like literature for me. Literal. Okay, that's like the barrier or the frontier I get to that. I was saying that there are some words that do not exist in other languages. So the thing is that when you are reading poems in other languages, when they translate it, they lose power. Concept literature. I used to take these German classes because back there in my hometown we have the Volkswagen industry, and it is like the main production activity of my hometown. That's kind of sad because we should have something local and it is not local, right? But yeah, I mean, they always say in Puebla, hey, you should learn German because you can work on the Volkswagen. And well, that's only in Puebla, because when you get out of Puebla, or I mean, I really like my classes of German. I mean, I still practice German. Do you use Duolingo? Add me on Duolingo. I really like languages. I have been realizing that. But yeah, I mean, maybe it was the professor. The professor was really good, but I was just feeling really dumb when I was taking those classes. So when I remember this, but yeah. So I used to confuse Bitteschön with Dankeschön, and um, but yeah, I like Latin, like Latin, and I found really cool when schools teach Latin as part of the subject, because I think it's really important. Also for medicine, when I was in med school, it is really useful. We used to have this exam where the thing was, what does this mean? And if you get to the roots, like to the Latin, it was way easier to answer the questions. But yeah, so we used to have this class where I used to take these classes of German, and my professor, he read uh, the book The Diary of Anna Frank in German. I mean, he translated like most, but we tried to figure it out. And he was saying like it is not the same reading it in English or Spanish that if you read it in German. I mean, there are some things and some words that does not mean the same, and even if you translate it, it doesn't have the same amount or the same value of the same charge of ideas as if it were on their main languages. So that's why I'm like I think this like we should read literature poems on their main languages, and I think it's kind of difficult because if we do not translate text, we cannot get. And the thing is that you cannot translate a text like as I get it. You translate the idea, and that's the important thing, right? To get to share the idea. That's why I'm making these blogs. I used to write, like I like writing, but I know that no one's writing, and I mean no people read, but it's not that common, and it's easier to share my ideas in a video platform, in a podcast platform, than it would be like in other ways. So I was hearing this podcast from Mexico, and they were saying like, bro, if Jesus Christ or if another prophet has was living in the 21st century, I mean like in 20 when we are living like 2022 and stuff, I will show you like this drawing I was making. And I can show you other drawings. I really like drawing. Doctor, if some doctor is seeing this, bro, I need to be diagnosticated with ADHD. They didn't realize when I was younger, and now I am just living this way. So I have better drawings. I mean, I think you can see it if you enter to my Instagram, HUZZ a HUZAAGO. That's where I have my designs, and also like my personal account. They have others. I mean, that's not the best one, but I think I kind of like this one. Oh, next time I'm gonna write this. Next time I'm gonna tell the story of the Alebrije. Whoa, that's a really cool story, and I think we can. I'm starting to divide my ideas. I have in this. I am making this podcast with one of my best friends, and I'm also making this project alone, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna deal with this. And I have many ideas, but I think they will show up. Like we start talking about Marxism, and then we start talking about some other things, and now we're talking about languages. I think if I practice this every day, I will get better in my speech abilities, and maybe there are a good record. And I was saying this in Spanish, but I will say it in English again. New sons, kids, my descendants, if you are hearing this, cool. I was saying that I have the thesis of my father, and I do not read it because it would be easier if he had a podcast. I mean, and even if he had a podcast, I think I will not hear it. So I know. But if you want to, you are gonna have my genetics, like my kids, my descendants. So if you want to understand better yourself, you should understand me also better, because I'm part of what you are part of why I am. Yeah, and I'm young now, and maybe when you know me, maybe I will be dead, or maybe I will be too old and I will have a different mind setting. But I think it's good that I started now. It will be better like to have started before, but I think I'm mature enough, and I have some ideas. I'm considering myself a young adult. Actually, I'm a young adult. I have 23. Yeah, so I'm mature enough to have developed some ideas. Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about alebrijes. I'm gonna write it here. So if you get to this point of the video and you haven't left, I'm gonna be completely honest. My mic, it doesn't work. It is just a symbol. It is just a symbol. It is just a symbol to make to have this concept that I mean, for sure you will not feel the same if the mic wasn't here. just the headphones, it doesn't look cool. It's like the whole setting. But yeah, this mic is the one that is working. That's why in the past video it sounds really bad quality of the audio, because it was hitting like the zipper of my jacket. But yeah, so thank you so much. I think I should stop recording now because I have been talking for an hour. But really, I appreciate if someone hears this, and if you want to write a comment to give feedbacks, that would be really cool. And I mean, if you had some project, I would be in. That would be really cool. I think this is a really good exercise. I prefer this than being in social media. Thank you for your time, because time is the most important thing. I have so many topics to talk about, and I am excited because this just have started, and I know it will be good.